हॅलो.
आता येते ऐकू?
हा, आता येत आहे. हा सर,
हा,
माझा
हा, बोला.
आवाज येतोय?
होय होय येतोय ना.
कसे आहात सर? मी तुम्हाला
सांग.
मध्ये पण फोन केला होता, 2-3 वेळा केला होता. तुम्ही माझा फोन उचलत नाही असं मी रागावले.
अरे कोण आसावरी बोलते?
मग बघा,
आज तुझा
म्हणजे ते पण लक्षात नाही.
अगं चेहरा, तुझा चेहरा दिसत नाही ना.
नाही दिसत आहे का? बरं, एक दोन
आणि
मिनिटं द्या मला, मी
मॅडम तुमच्या याच्यावर नाव पण ऍडमिन म्हणून आलेलं आहे कदाचित.
नाही 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 नाही, मी कॅमेरा ऑन
हा,
करते. एकच.
कासावरी बापट आले. हा, त्यामुळे ते कळलं नाही की तुम्ही बोलताय. मला
अच्छा.
तोंड
हा.
ओळखू आल्यात.
हा.
ओके, आता
हा,
दिसतंय.
आता दिसतंय.
आता
हा
दिसते ना?
हा.
सर, काय हे माझा फोन उचलत नाही तुम्ही?
असं कधी झालं? कधी केलं होतं
केलाय
असं?
मी फोन, बघा तुम्ही.
बघतो बघतो. काय
हा,
म्हणतेस, कसं
एक पाच
चाललंय?
सहा दिवसापूर्वी केला, त्याच्या आधी एक दोनदा केला होता. पण मग
कळलं नाही
मला
ग.
असं वाटलं की कदाचित तुम्ही झोपला वगैरे असाल, मग दुपारच्या वेळेला मी केला
म्हणजे
होता.
कळलं
असंच
नाही
काही
म्हणजे.
काम नव्हतं.
हा, ठीक, हरकत नाही. म्हणजे रागवली नाहीस ना? आता प्रत्यक्ष
रागावले मी,
बोलतो.
सांगितलं सर, मी रागावले.
आता
गंमत.
प्रत्यक्ष झालं दर्शन ना, बस.
हो,
कसं काय,
झालं.
तब्येत वगैरे काय म्हणते? स्वास्थ्य चांगलंय?
उत्तम, एकदम
दिसतं
छान.
तर आहेच उत्तम.
घरात आहे. तुम्ही कसे आहात ते
मी
सांगा.
तसा दिसत आहे ना उत्तम.
हो हो हो, छान वाटतंय बघून, खूप दिवसांनी
देवाची कृपा.
भेटलो.
देवाची कृपा, आपण
हो
काय म्हणणार.
हो.
नमस्कार सर.
सगळ्यांना पण हाय,
हा.
हॅलो.
ठीक आहे, मग आज आपण आता सुरू करूयात कार्यक्रमाला. मला वाटतं स्पीकर आसावरी मॅडम पण आहे, वर्षा केळकर माने पण आहे, शकुंतला गावडे मॅडम पण आहेत,
हो
चेअरपर्सन पण आलेले आहेत.
हो.
सभी आ गए हैं, तो अब हम इस आगे के सूत्र को वृषाली मैडम की तरफ देते हैं। वृषाली पोटनीस दामले, तो आगे वो शुरुआत कर देंगे। नमस्ते राजेश मिश्रा जी।
जी प्रणाम मैम।
हाँ, तो सभी चेयरपर्सन और जो भी स्पीकर्स है वो आ गए हैं, तो अभी हम अपने कार्यक्रम को शुरू कर देते हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल मैम।
ओके, ठीक है।
Okay, am I audible?
हाँ, सभी का
Yeah,
आवाज आ रहा है।
absolutely.
Acha, okay. I request Renuka to please start the session, and also Dr. Nasale to please introduce Dr. Wakankar, who is the chairman of the session.
Okay, okay. Namaste everyone. I am Renuka Panchal from Department of Sanskrit, University of Mumbai. I am happy to welcome you all in the second day of this two virtual international conference on the theme Sanskrit as a backbone of Indian knowledge system. This conference is jointly organized by Department of Sanskrit, University of Mumbai and Global Sanskrit Forum Maharashtra Pranta. Yesterday we had a student and faculty conference in technical sessions. Students, faculties from different universities and colleges participated in this conference in very enthusiastic fashion. So today we are here to listen our very eminent invited speaker. Now I am inviting Sare, professor at Department of Sanskrit, to lead the session head. Okay. Over to you, Madhvi ma'am.
Namo Namaha. The session convener is Vrushali Potnis Damle, but I couldn't resist from introducing my professor, Dr. Siddhartha Vakankar, who has been the former deputy director of the Oriental Institute, Vadodara, under the Maharaja Sayaji Rao Gaikwad University. So apart from that, a very important, his association with the department is for more than 50 years, because he has been the alumnus of our department. And we are proud to have him because he is the alumnus who has scaled lots of heights in the field of research in Sanskrit manuscriptology, and is a well-known acclaimed scholar nationally and internationally. He has got pioneering work in manuscriptology by editing a number of manuscripts and bringing into light lot of unknown Sanskrit works. His work on Yadavendra Mahodadhi is very important. Then he has we associate sciences and Sanskrit, and here we have got a person who is really doing that work. So he has actually unveiled Gaja Shastra, Palakapya, and his book on Gajashastra is famous, and I don't know how many editions are there of Gajashastra. Then another pioneering work which he has done is on is on ancient games. So so we try to find out. We are familiar, many of us who are born in 1970s onwards, 80s, etc., about gulli danda and marbles, etc. Then our parents might have initiated us into chess. Professor Wakankar has done a very pioneering work that chess did not originate from Middle East. Chess is something which has been originated from India. So how it has originated in India and how it has traveled across the world is a very important path-breaking work which Professor Wakankar has done, and he's known for that. Apart from that, the Moksha Patta, which is the snakes and ladders associated with Sanskrit and Indian culture, Ganjifa associated with, now we may be aware about Ganjifa from Savantwadi, but we don't know how to play them. So he has so those board games which are there. So he has done a lot of work on that. Apart from that, sir has been honored with the very famous Ramakrishna Sanskrit Award from Canada. And also, there are many other awards too, but one award which might be close to our heart is the Kalida Sadhana Puraskar, which he has been honored by the government of Maharashtra. So it is very heartening that the parent state honors such a erudite scholar. So he has been helping students. Call him and ask him any subject, and without any hesitation, he gives you references, he helps you out, and he's still very fond of lecturing. Manuscriptology is a very darling subject, and whenever we ask him to deliver a lecture on manuscriptology, he can speak offhand. Apart from that, another aspect of Professor Wakankar, which I'd like to highlight with you, is his knowledge of the Rajabai Tower library, which holds lot of prestigious collections, and he knows the number of books, their authors, their year of publication, and would hound myself or the librarian of the Rajabai Tower Library to find out so and so book and share it with him. So it is very important, and on behalf of the Sanskrit department and also the Global Sanskrit Forum, I extend a warm and hearty welcome to sir. Welcome to your alumni, and I would say in Marathi, तुमच्या माहेरी तुमचं स्वागत आहे, and so आपके मैके में आपका स्वागत है in Hindi. So with this introduction, I hand over the proceedings to Vrushali Potnes Damble. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nasale. Thank you so much. Welcome to day 2 of session 1 of this very, very interesting seminar. Yesterday's day was also very good, and today's also promises to be excellent. We have 3 esteemed presenting guests in this session, and of course, our very esteemed chairperson as well. Sir, with your permission, should I start? And I will start by introducing the first guest.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
We are all
Yes.
I am at your disposal. You
Okay,
get the
sir.
point?
Okay, so good morning. Our first guest is Dr. Varsha Kelkar Mane. Dr. Mane has a bachelor's degree in microbiology, biochemistry, master's in biochemistry, and a PhD in applied biology from the University of Mumbai. She was awarded the prestigious Dakshina Fellowship in Biochemistry and has been a research fellow at the Council of Scientific and Industrial National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, Mumbai, before she joined the University of Mumbai as a full-fledged faculty member. She heads the Department of Biotechnology and Biophysics at the University of Mumbai. In the capacity of a coordinator, she has been successful in revitalizing the University of Mumbai Accelerator Center that is now open for academia, researchers, and industry for radiocarbon dating. She has also played a crucial role in setting up the University of Mumbai Department of Atomic Energies, a center of excellence in basic sciences on the university campus, as well as in establishing a research laboratory at the Department of Biotechnology, University of Mumbai. Very interesting. Would love to hear Professor Kelkar Mane. Request her to please present a paper. We have about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes allotted per paper. Request all the presenters to please, adhere to the timings. Dr. Kelkar Mane, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And good morning to you all. And it's really a pleasure to be a part of this honorable forum. And I was just hearing Madhavi introduce Professor Siddharth Wakankar. And Sir, namaskar tumhala. I come from a very different field and I'm introducing a different concept today. But nonetheless, it's a forum where science and ancient Indian traditional knowledge come together. Can I request the host to permit the sharing, because the sharing is not turned on? I would like to present my the PowerPoint.
तिथे ब्लँक आहे, माझ्याकडे काही दिसत नाहीये.
Please give us a moment. Somebody,
Are you
yes,
able to
thank
see
you.
the screen now?
हाँ दिसतंय मॅडम आता पीपीटी.
This time?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, visible now.
thank you. एकच minute.
मला तुम्ही कोणी दिसत नाही बरं.
स्लाइड दिसत नाहीये का सर आपल्याला?
काहीच दिसत नाहीये, सगळं ब्लँक आहे इकडे.
Are the others able to see or should I?
I'm able to see. What about the
Yes,
others?
we are able to see. We are able to see.
Yes, we are able.
दिख रहा है मैडम.
So shall I proceed?
हाँ.
Yeah.
So, a very good morning once again to all of you. And today I will be talking about or briefing about Ayurveda and the Bio E3 policy of Government of India. Lots of things that are converging together when we are talking about the Bio E3 policy and the traditional Indian knowledge, Ayurveda, which is also included, and lots of concepts that are or that have been dominant in traditional Indian knowledge are being coming back and adopted by the West now in new capacity. I'm not sure. Is the slide changing? No. Okay, yeah. So this is the roadmap that we'll follow. It's a long roadmap. I'll cut it short to 20 minutes. That's not a problem. So we will begin with Ayurveda, then go to biotechnology case study, then understand the Bio E3 policy, Ayurveda and biotechnology. Now it's to begin with itself, I think it's a great pride to know that the Ayurveda, the day or the Ayurveda Divas is going to be celebrated on the 23rd of September 2025. And the theme of this Ayurveda Divas for this 2025 is Ayurveda for the people, for people and planet. Till last year, that what I read was that this day was celebrated on Dhanteras. So it was as per the lunar calendar. However, this year onwards, it has been decided that it will be observed on 23rd September every day. Now, the theme of this particular Ayurveda Divas is very apt, and it coincides and resonates with the concept, Western concept of One Health, which has been recently introduced. And what is the purpose of this particular Divas? It reflects our collective resolve to harness full potential of Ayurveda for global well-being and a healthier planet. This is basically the concept of One Health. Now, the ancient Indian concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which all of you are much more aware than what probably I am, it emphasizes on the interconnectedness and unity of all living beings on the earth. It promotes values of cooperation, compassion, responsibility, a shared future for humanity and the planet. And this was the official theme for India's G20 presidency in 2023. And the One Health approach, once again, which is launched by the West, is also similar to, or is, I can take the liberty to say that it is based on the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And especially this came into being after the emergence and re-emergence of zoonotic diseases and pandemics like COVID-19, which actually told us the importance of One Health, because these diseases are coming from animals, bats in case of COVID-19, to human beings, and the way that it is affecting right from our lifestyle to economics to the socio-political conditions is massive. So more is the need to focus on One Health concept and the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam concept. Now, very interestingly, the Indian traditional knowledge banks on circular economy. And in the Bio E3 principle, we are going back to bioeconomy. Hello. Yeah. So we
Request
are
the
going
host to
back.
please mute the others. Request the host to please mute the others. Yeah, ma'am, please continue.
Thank you. So the Indian traditional knowledge banks on circular economy. It always banked on circular economy. However, the Westerners went on with linear economy. Then they emerged into recycling economy, and now they are proposing circular economy as it is proposed by the United Nations also. Now, we in traditional Indian wisdom, as I said, if you see, let me use a laser pointer here. So if you see here, this is the circular economy where we are trying to reduce or recycle and reuse as much as possible. We are trying to move away from the take, make, use, and dispose approach, which is very rampant in the West. And I think this is of utmost importance when it comes to bioeconomy. Let's talk about clothes, let's talk about food, let's talk about consumables, water, you name it. And the need is to recycle and reuse as much as possible because there is only one planet Earth. We do not have 3 Earths or 4 Earths where we can bank on. We have only one planet, and therefore the need that we use all the resources very carefully. This is what circular economy is about, and this is what the principles of a sustainable bioeconomy are based on. Basically, bioeconomy, I would like to highlight here, refers to production, utilization of biological resources. And what do I mean by biological resources? These are plants, animals, microorganisms to create sustainable products or give us a sustainable future, in short. Let us talk about the Bio E3 policy. Since we are short on time, I will keep it very brief. The Bio E3 policy is a leap towards India's bioeconomy. Now, the Bio E3 policy banks on economy, biotechnology for economy, environment, and employment. Now, this policy was approved by the Union Cabinet on 24th of August 2024. So it's a very recent policy, and it is lauded to be a game changer. And it is said that the way IT revolutionized the whole world, this Bio E3 is going to spark bio revolution and boost sustainable growth, is what it says. Now, this policy lays down a framework for implementation of biomanufacturing and biofoundry. What would these do? They promote green growth in the country, and this green growth is based on the regenerative principles. Now, there are six distinct sectors or thematic verticals of national importance that have been identified in this Bio E3 policy. And I think we can it's clear for us to read. I will not invest too much time on this. But these have been allied with the national initiatives of green growth, net zero carbon, or the Satat, as all of us know, and life, which is lifestyle for environment. There is a dire need to switch over to what is called as biomanufacturing. These are the national initiatives of Government of India. And today what I will be highlighting is how Indian traditional knowledge or the knowledge in Sanskrit text can come together for life, that is lifestyle for environment, as well as therapeutics and diagnostics. So, which is one of the biovisions. Now, why is biomanufacturing required? Obviously, all of us are experiencing the impact of climate change, unsustainable material consumption, excessive resources, waste generation, etc., etc. And biology or biotechnology in particular holds a lot of promising applications to contain these global threats, to take care of these global threats. Now, let me just brief about life and in what way can this be used, and the studies that have been ongoing at the University, Department of Biotechnology, University of Mumbai. These are a few insights that I got, or scripts that I got, which are available online. And here probably the Sanskrit scholars will be able to help us in extracting more and more information as to what is actually hidden in the Sanskrit text, or what is actually available in the Sanskrit text that unfolds or that tells us the way in which the water should be reused. Okay, so these were just two references that I could find online, and that is why I have quoted them here. I will brief you about the phytoremediation technology that was developed here. And this goes back to the traditional Indian knowledge. Once again, if you go back to the villages, you will see that the wash waters of wherever the utensils are washed, the wash water is let out in a particular direction. And in this direction, you will see certain plants that you can see here. This is canna or kardal jala Marathit म्हणतात. This is aram or alu as it is called in Marathi, and this is dwarf palm. Now you will see all of these growing in areas where there is a wash water which is flowing. So a phytoremediation technology has been developed based on this traditional Indian wisdom, wherein you treat this, you align these plants in a tertiary bed water treatment plant, and you allow the wash waters, that is the water which is coming out after washing your utensils, to pass through these chambers. Now the water that comes out at this end is a comparatively purified water, and what enables purifying it is the plants which are absorbing the nutrients, with the microorganisms which are there around the roots of these plants, which metabolize the compounds and clear the water or clarify the water. This is how the constructed wetland looks like. So you have stone and gravel here. You have the wastewater which is coming in, which flows from here, and this is the water outlet. So the water that comes out here is comparatively purer than what the water inlet is. So you have the biotic and the abiotic system, the gravel, soil, sand, which play a role in it. A lot of microorganisms are associated with these particular plants. Now, why am I emphasizing this here is that this study that we carried out in the department, it emphasized that these microorganisms translocate from the roots to the leaves, enabling purification of water. And then there was this particular paper that I came across. This spoke about the Sukshma Jivanu in the Vedas. And so far, probably microbiology per se, or the existence of microorganisms per se, was unknown of in ancient Indian or in Indian Vedic knowledge. But this particular paper was an eye-opener which kind of unraveled the way in which these Sukshma Jivanus have been mentioned not as bacteria, not as viruses, but as a particular existing entity in various, whether it is the soil or the water or the air, and the way that they can be contained. This was another project wherein we treated the wastewater using the algal biomass, wherein we are talking about a circular economy. The second concept of bio-based chemicals and therapeutics, and once again aligning to Ayurveda, which is of course a 5,000-year-old Indian system, and the One Health approach was the way in which we use bhasmas. I think I will skip these two and go to the study wherein we have used iron, copper, and tin, and we are going to the past to have a better future. And what way can we do this? We studied infections of candidiasis. Candida is an organism which is found on our skin. It is found on the tongue. And especially in immunocompromised patients, patients undergoing chemotherapy, where their immune system is compromised, this organism poses a major problem. This organism is a drug-resistant organism. In most of the cases, turns drug-resistant. It is present in all the implants. It can colonize the implants, and hence it is a challenge to treat or take care of this organism. The way we treated this organism, or the way we kind of contained this organism, was using the oligodynamic action of copper. Now, what is the oligodynamic action of copper? Ayurveda or the ancient Chinese and Greek also mention the use of copper as a potent antimicrobial agent. And this action of heavy metals, or this action of copper in particular, silver also shows similar action, was used in the present study. Now, copper is one of the first metals that has been approved by the US EPA, that is Environmental Protection Agency, and as a touch surface. So if we remember in olden days, or when probably we were quite young, the door handles or the knobs of the doors or all the touch surfaces were made up of brass. And the reason is the presence of copper in this element enabled the disinfection of the organisms that are present on the handle, the door handles, or the taps wherein you have multiple people coming and touching these particular surfaces. Now, these are the potent applications or rampant applications of copper that we see these days. This is what I mean by touch surfaces. Wherever multiple people touch, if you have a copper surface there, obviously the transfer of organisms is reduced multiple folds. This is traditional distillation that takes place for fermentation, whether it is beers, in copper vats, and this is how we use copper in water. Now, these days, copper or silver or iron, it is said that they should be used in a nanoparticle form. However, there is a lot of risk when you use nanoparticles in comparison to when you use copper probably as a vessel or as a storing agent. What we had done here is we have studied the effect of tamrajal, as you call it. So if you store water, which is recommended in the ancient text also, that you store water for say 6 hours or you store water overnight in copper vessels and then you use it, and there are multiple benefits to it. We carried out a study by storing water in steel, in aluminium, in copper, in iron, and in brass. Now, these white dots that you can see here are the bacteria or the candida, the fungus that is growing. So if you see, the organisms that are present in copper have been reduced to a bare minimum. So remember, just 6 hours of storage of this water in copper is disinfecting or is reducing the bacterial load and the fungal load to a minimal, whereas steel and aluminium that is used is not making any difference to the organisms that are there. So what is actually happening? The copper is eluted from the copper vessels when you store, and as a result of which this copper kind of targets the organisms and kills the organism. These are scanning electron micrographs of bacteria that are seen, the candida, the fungi that is seen under the microscope. And this particular image that you see these are the proper cells. So this is how the actual healthy cells look like. But look at the way that when they are treated with tamrajal or with copper water, they change their shape and finally they are killed. This is an AFM, that is an atomic force micrograph image that you can see. This is taken in real time, that is from 0 hours to 6 hours, and the way a balloon deflates. So we can imagine, so suppose if we keep a balloon in sunlight, the way it will deflate, copper exactly does that to the organism. This is an entire cell. This is a neat entire bacteria called as E. coli, which causes diarrheal infections. And when you expose it it is just kept in a jar, a copper jar, and samples are taken out. So if you see here the cell perturbations that are happening, and finally the way the balloon bursts, the cell also bursts, and that causes cell death. Second that we had dealt with was Loha Bhasma, or we had synthesized in similar to the Loha Bhasma superparamagnetic iron oxide nanoparticles. They were the obvious choice once again because they have been used in Ayurveda, they have been used for various diseases. So the non-toxic nature has been proven. And we use them for theranostics. Polymerase chain reaction is one of the reactions that most of us must be aware during COVID times. And that is where we used these iron oxide nanoparticles to catalyze or to boost the reaction of this PCR. What are the applications of PCR? They range from diagnostics to forensics, where you have ancient DNA, you have maybe it is for identifying criminals or any other reaction where you need DNA sample. They have also been used by scientists to identify bacteria. Dr. Jayant Narlikar had identified the organisms, bacteria, 40 kilometers above the surface of the earth. NASA is using this technology of polymerase chain reaction, and using iron oxide nanoparticles, we were able to boost this particular reaction, giving us results which probably were so far unheard of. So this is just silver, gold, and iron that we have used. I'm not going into the details, but if you see here, the iron oxide, when it was used, the reaction increased, the fold of reaction that was increased was massive. So it was an economical way. This is patented, obviously, and it's the technology transfer is in place. Once again, drawing parallels from the traditional knowledge of using Loha Bhasma, we have prepared these iron oxide nanoparticles. The same iron oxide nanoparticles were used to treat cells which have glial cells, which are glioblastoma is one of the forms of cancer. and also against Alzheimer diseases. So if you see here, these things that you can see, these thread-like things that you can see are amyloid plaques. Okay, so people who are suffering from Alzheimer's, you have these amyloid plaques. Now, if you treat them with spions, if you treat them with iron oxide nanoparticles or the loha basma that you call it, you have disruption of these plaques, and the toxicity to the cells also reduces. This is a human neuroblastoma cell, and these spine-like or needle-like structures that you see here are these protein polymers. So if you treat them with iron oxide, these kind of just disperse and burst. So this was treated. We also tried its treatment for cancer cell differentiation. And what we saw was they were an effective differentiating agent which could contain cancer or which could take care of cancer. So this is another expression in which we had, this is retinoic acid, which is used as a standard. And after you treat the glioblastoma cells with iron oxide or iron oxide nanoparticles, you see that they start differentiating. That is, the cancer growth stops and the cell differentiating starts, which was also a breakthrough. So that was another study that we did. If I have to summarize the work that we have done so far, what we have understood is that traditional Indian knowledge and wisdom holds great potential, but the need is to break the boundaries, the need, and I think the Sanskrit department has already taken a step wherein the two fields need to come together. At the same time, we need to accept limitations. We need to accept facts as they are and not go beyond our capacity to say something that is not probably appropriate. We need to produce proof of concept. And I think if we work together, we can definitely make BioE3 a great success. I thank all the honorable members who have given me opportunity to present my work, and I'm open to questions if there are any. Thank you so much. I hope I have taken care of the time as well. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Kelkar Mane, I especially found your PPTs, your speech very interesting. Marries what we term as superstition to actual science. Very interesting. And she did a great job of shortening her very massive PPT. Dr. Wakankar, would you like to take the comments and questions now or towards the end of the session? Sir? I think he's muted and he doesn't know that. Am I audible? Okay.
वाकणकर has
ऐकू येते का?
हा सर, आत्ता घ्यायचे कमेंट्स आणि क्वेश्चन्स का नंतर शेवटी?
नाही आत्ताच घेऊया, कारण काय लोक नाहीतर विसरतील काय सांगेल विवेचन केलंय ते.
बरं एक 2-3 मिनिट्स मध्ये तुमचे कमेंट्स आणि क्वेश्चन्स आपण घेऊया.
आधी क्वेश्चन घ्यायचे का आधी कॉमेंट्स करू? काय तुमची इच्छा आहे?
सर कमेंट्स द्या तुमचे and then maybe a couple of questions we can take after that.
All right. I'll do it.
Okay.
I must congratulate this lady for a wonderful paper exposing the Sanskrit studies to a new heights. And I always say Sanskrit is a Kasturi Mruga. We have Kasturi within us, but we are trying to find it somewhere else. And if you study original Sanskrit text, I think you will get a lot of material which is useful or relevant to modern times. She spoke about this Tambrajala, etc. See, we have manuscript in Sanskrit which do research on Dhatu Marana. I think Sanskrit is still know what is Dhatu Marana. How to change the base metals into gold and iron. So all these processes are already described in Sanskrit text. But our main problem of our Sanskrit, I include myself, we are not so much ready to go out of our comfort zones. Once you go away from your comfort zones, I did a little bit of that. I edited 2 works on Ashwashastra, Gajashastra, then Parashara Tantra, help one scientist. That was an astronomy, not astrology. And Narada Shilpa Shastra I edited. So architecture, engineering, everything we have, only thing we have to look back to our own roots. That is the important thing. I think her conclusion is same thing. the Sanskritis and the scientists should work together, and this combination will take us to a higher place of knowledge and, so to say, Atmanirbhar Bharat, as we call it. Now you can have some questions, etc.
Okay, sir. I'd request the host, because I'm unable to see anybody put up their hand for the questions. If the host can just request a concerned person to ask the question, just 2 or 3 questions, that's it. Are there any questions?
I think as the topic is quite new to the audience,
Okay,
there may not be any questions.
okay, all right.
I
Yeah,
hope it was not too technical.
not
It was not
technical
at
at
all,
all, madam.
it was a novel idea, a
technical.
gift attempt, and we should encourage such attempts. Scientists coming to Sanskrit department, and Sanskrit is helping the scientists. That is a good cooperation. That should be encouraged.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kelkar Mane. Thank you so much for your presentation. Dr. Vakhankar, I think we should move to our next guest now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Our next guest is Dr. Asavari Bapat. Dr. Bapat is a leading researcher in Sanskrit and culture with over 20 years teaching experience with the university. She has been appointed by the Ministry of External Affairs as First Secretary Director Culture for 5.5 years, covering first Rangoon, Myanmar, and later Kathmandu, Nepal. She has authored 2 books, Chanakya Niti and Shivakaran, and another. A warm welcome to Dr. Bapat. I request you to please address our audience. And it's so lovely to see you after such a long time.
Thank you. Rashmi.
Hi.
Am I audible?
Yes, now you are. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, very much.
So I extend my heartfelt thanks for the Department of Sanskrit for giving me this opportunity to present my ideas about the espionage army in Kautilya Arthashastra. So without wasting much time, I just start my topic. Can I share my PPTs?
Yes, please.
Can you see?
Yes, it's visible.
So when we say spy or espionage, we immediately recollect the code name, not 7. That is the name of course, we all know the great spy, the hero, and his clandestine activities by collecting the information by deception, his lavish lifestyle, his flirting, and so many things. So when we think of a spy, is it the life of the spy? That is the main question. But the answer is certainly not. The life of spy is altogether different, and which is mentioned in Kautilya Arthashastra. It is necessary, and it is very important to understand the concept of spies in Arthashastra, because from ancient time, this concept of spy was actually working in our tradition, and still today it is in continuously working. So let us move back and try to understand the different names of the word spy in our tradition, that is in Sanskrit. So the first word is chara and chara, as it is derived from the word chara, to move ahead, one who wanders. Yatharha varna is another name. Arha varna, yatha. So basically, whatever character the spy is going to take, his attire should be attire in his language and his behavior. Arha varna is not necessarily not only the attire, but his behavior, his language, his pronunciation, and all the other things are very important, suitable to his role, whatever he has taken. Hence the word yatharha varna. Next is spasha, one who stands, observes, and accepts. So spasha means to wait, to stop in the society, to mingle in the society, to understand the ideas of the people in that society, and to accept them and gather the information, whatever is required. Then comes the Gudha Purusha. The name is very suggestive, no need to explain it. Apasarpa, to move forward. So spies always go everywhere and gather the information. So the right word, pranidhihi, it has got double meaning, appointment for a particular task. So sometimes we speak that khabra or the informers are there, and to be a spy for a particular mission, some people are appointed as spy. That was the practice, and even today it is in practice. Prahita, appointed for specific intellectual tasks. So these are some important tasks for which some highly qualified or highly intelligent spies are appointed, and these are the synonyms which give the role and the work of spies. We all know these two sentences. They are from Rudra. When we say the Rudra, Stenanam Pataye Namaha and Sayunam Pataye Namaha. And I always thought why I should salute to the Stena. Stena because Stena and Sayu means a thief. Why I should salute to a thief? And then I realized while pondering on these particular words and these two sentences in reference with Rudra, then I realized that yes, these are the stainers who are gathering information by deception. So openly they can't gather the information. So hiding their identity, they are gathering. So in a way, they are thieves, and they are the thieves, and they are gathering the information. And the one who is lord of these thieves, I must salute him because he is the head of the army of spies. Then that is how I interpret these two sentences. Then king is always called a Chara Chakshu Mahipatihi. Chara Chakshu, whose Chakshus are the Charas, the spies. We all are aware that eye is very important sensory organ, and if we are placing Charas at the place of eye, it is the highest respect given to the spies in our tradition, I consider. Now, यस्मात् पश्यन्ति दूरस्थाः सर्वान् अर्थान् नराधिपाः चारेण तस्मात् उच्यन्ते राजानः चारचक्षुषः. So Ramayana gives the explanation why he is called a Charachakshu. Yasmat pashyanti durasthaha. Though he sits at one place, but he can see everywhere, far away from his place. And this is only because of the Buddha Purusha, the spies, and hence Raja is called a Charachakshu. Then in Ramayana again, while mentioning the importance, Yuddha Swalpena Piyatnena, Samasadya Nirasyate. So in war, even by small efforts, we can win the war, we get the victory if the work of spies is perfect. If they are particular in their work, then it is possible to get complete victory with very small efforts. And I think this shloka we can give to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, because in all his wars, the role of spy played very important, was very important, and hence he was able to get victory in almost all the wars. But in generally, when we speak of spy, we give credit to Sun Tzu. In his war, he has mentioned 5 types of war. 5 types of spies. They are local spies, inward spies, converted spies, doomed spies, and surviving spies. Now, on this background, it is necessary to understand Kautilya's work, because first of all, appointment of spy by whom they are to be appointed is explained by Kautilya. And he has stated that Upadhabhihi Shuddha Amatya Vargaha Gudha Purushan Utpadayat. So who will appoint this Gudha Purusha? Shuddha Amatya Vargaha. The word Shuddha is very important because they have passed all the tests. They are called as Upadha. They are the secret test before their appointment as Amatya Varga. And these people are going to appoint the Gudha Purusha, because we have already seen that they are at the place of I. Even smallest wrong information will create problem for the king and the entire nation, and hence appointment of these spies is to be done by Amatya Varga. But who are these Amatyas? They are the Shuddha, of pure heart. They are devoted to their king and of course to their nation, because king is nation, and hence those who have passed these exams will appoint. Now we have seen that Sun Tzu has mentioned 5 types of spies, but Kautilya is giving a big list of spies, and it is Kapatika, Udasita, Grahapatika, Vaidehaka, Tapasa Vyanjanan. Then the next list starts with Satri, Tikshna, Rasada, and Bhikshukicha. So we'll go with each and every word in this list. Now, the first 5, Kapatika, Udasita, Grahapatika, Vaidehaka, and Tapasa, these are the samsthas, that is, these are the establishments, and Sanchari are of 4 types. They are Satri, Tikshna, Rasada, and Bhikshuki. So who can be a Kapatika, or why Kapatika? Kapatika is defined as Paramarmadnyaha Pragalbha Chhatraha Kapatika. So the role of Kapatika, I mean, the first of all, who is Kapatika? He is a Chhatra. Then how he should be? Paramarmadnyaha, the one who understands the ideas, the intentions of other people, is Paramarmadnya Kapatika. At the same time, he must be Pragalbha Chhatraha, very wise, but he has entered only in the first ashrama, that is the Brahmacharya ashrama. This is because that time when ladies never mingle with the society easily, freely, that time they can speak with the young boy, and he can, with the help, with the intention of asking for alms, Om Bhavati Bhikshandehi, he can go in any house and gather information, hence Kapatika. And I always think of the Batu who approached Parvati to understand her intentions while performing the penance, because she was performing penance for Shankara, and Shankara in the disguise of Kapatika, because whatever the description given over there of Shankara, the Batu, is exactly like this. So he was Paramarmadnyaha, Pragalbhaha, he was a very good orator, and so many other qualities. So he was, but at the same time, he was a Batu, that is the Kapatika. Then comes Udasthita. Udasthita is an ascetic fallen from his vow, intelligent and honest. Now, fallen from his vow, we can give the example of Vitthal Panta, the father of Santa Jnaneshwar, because he has taken sannyasa and once again he entered in the Grihastha. So we all know the history, whatever sufferings they had to suffer, but that is not our topic. But ascetic fallen from his vow, if tradition is not accepting them, Kautilya is not of that type of, following that type of tradition, instead of removing them from the society, he has stated that let us make use of these people to gather information. Then comes Grahapatika, again a farmer whose means of livelihood are depleted. They should be honest and intelligent. Now, the farmer who were committing suicide because their jobs were depleted, their agricultural activities were depleted, I think this sutra is applicable even today. Then this, of course, here I have mentioned about the salary of all these spies. It is 1,000 for these people. Then comes the Vaidehaka, Vanijakaha, Vrittikshinaha, Prajna Shauchayuktaha, Vaidehaka. Again, the same idea, trader whose means of livelihood are depleted, intelligent and wise, honest. Then Tapasa, Munda Jatilova, Vrittikamaha, Tapasa Vyanjana. A hermit with shaven head or with matted hair. So it shows that at the time of Kautilya, the Kautilyan society, along with the sannyasis, the Shaiva and Jainas, they are taking place, the Buddhists, they were taking form, shape in the society, and Kautilya is ready to accept all these people in this clandestine activity. So these are the Pancha Samsthas mentioned by Kautilya everywhere in the Vyanjana, in that particular disguise. Because for a Vaidehaka who has already who has done trade, or who is already in that profession, it is easy for him to pretend in that way, because it is not actually pretending, it is his profession. So he can easily take that trap and start his acting, his work. So for the same reason, he has mentioned for the Grahapatika Vaidehaka, but everywhere he has mentioned Prajna Shauchayukta. It is not the rule for Kapatika and Tapasa, but for Vaidehaka, Grahapatika, he has mentioned Prajna Shauchayukta. Prajna is necessary for every spy. But what about Shuchita? Everywhere he is mentioning Shuchita, and this rule is not for Kapatika, because if we go through the rules of the Brahmacharya Ashrama, they had to maintain purity, so the word is not applied to them. This rule is not applied to them. And of course, now the last one is Tapasa. Being a Tapasa, Shuchita is very important for him, but for other people, because they are in the society with the family and all, and in that condition. Because why Shuchita is mentioned nowadays, we hear many examples of honey trapping, and for that, or of course the bribe and all that, we are going through all those rules, all those concepts. But here the word Prajna and Shauchayukta is very important, and that's why I mentioned that the lavish and flirting lifestyle of James Bond is not accepted by Kautilya. He's constantly giving importance to Shuchita. And how this Tapasa should work, he has clearly, it is something I feel that it is the school of spies developed by Kautilya. He has given the rules how they should behave. Here is beautiful sutra given by him, and he has mentioned that Sa Nagarabhyashe. Sa is that Tapasa who is near the, or in the vicinity of the city. He should enjoy a Shakam Yavamushti openly, only with, of course, Prabhuta Munda Jatila Antevasi. So in whatever disguise he is, his disciples should follow the same attire and the characteristic. In front of the people, in front of the society, he should enjoy only handful of rice grains or whatever vegetables, and that again Masadvi Masanantara. It is in the interval of a month or 2 months. Is it possible that a person having handful of grain or whatever the vegetable in a month or 2 months will live? No. Hence, Kautilya has clearly mentioned Prakasham Ashniyat. Fine. Being a spy, you have to follow these rules, because without Chamatkar, there is no Namaskar. And being a Tapasa, you have to gain the faith of people, and for that some Chamatkaras is necessary to show, and for that you have to enjoy a handful of grain in an interval of a month or 2 months, Prakasham, openly. But Gudham Ishtamaharam. Kautilya is not forgetting to mention this sutra, that Gudham Ishtamaharam. Secretly, he should enjoy his food properly, because his job is not to be an ascetic, but to be a spy, and for that he should take proper diet, but it should be in secrecy, it should be secretly. Now, here I got one information, one news in the Times of India. This news was there, I have mentioned the date, 29th October 2016, where in Mumbai Mirror, the news given by the papal government of Rome, and they have mentioned that we teach sorcerism to our priests. So this shows that for a priest, for a tapasa, a sannyasi or sadhu, some chamatkaras are necessary to show, to express, to be in the society. And that is why they have declared that we teach sorcerism. Now, this is a way that by eating handful of food grain and all that, but the entire system, how it should work, and for that this sutra is given. Kautilya has mentioned that Vaidehaka or the Grahapatika, along with their disciple, they have to work. And of course, it is along with it, the entire system should work systematically. It includes the king and the ministers who had appointed him, and the spy himself, I mean the samstha itself, along with the disciples. So these disciples should declare that Asau Siddha Samedika. He, the sannyasi or the tapasa, he is the one by whom one can earn the riches. They should start declaring all these things. And yes, and once the tapasa will declare that you will get your wealth on so and so date, it is the responsibility of the entire system to arrange that type of gift to that particular person, and then only idam va raja karishyati. So the sutra says that, of course, he must mention so many things, that if you are wrong, the chora bhayam or dushyavadam, if you are doing some good things, then the tushti dhanam, suddenly king will offer something to you. Or he can mention that videsha pravritti jnanam, whatever is happening in other countries, he should narrate all those things to the one who has approached him. Of course, this visit is again planned by the disciples. I'm not going to explain the entire story, but I would like to mention the story of Ram Bhosle, a famous massagist, and how he worked exactly like this sutra. And for that, Divya Sparsha is his book. You can go through that book. Then let us move ahead. So we have already seen that the Kapatika, Udasita, Grahapatika, Vaidehaka, Tapasa, these are the samsthas, the establishment, and now the roving spy. So there are 4 roving spy. They are Satri, Tikshna, Rasada, and Bhikshuki. How they should work now? Those who are without relations and have to be necessarily maintained when they study the science, have to be necessarily maintained. Let us stop here. So those who are without relations in society, there are so many children, those who are without relation. And of course, some commentaries, they are stating that these are the relatives of king, and hence it is his duty to take care of these children. And he should take care of these people and train them for the spying work. That is the idea behind it. And for that, what type of training they should get when they study the science of interpretation of marks. So when you tell somebody's horoscope, we know even now, the Vasudeva, the Nandi Baila, these people, they have that type of knowledge, and they start telling once someone reach to them, they approach them, and people get attracted towards them. So it is even today, people get attracted when someone is telling our fortune. So they should know this interpretation of marks. We have this particular science that bodily marks can give the character of that person. Hence, bodily marks. Then science of the body, the entire body. Of course, this is again another science, what type of shoulder you have, or we know the story of Dushyanta's son, Bharata, and who was having the chakras on all his fingers, and this shows that Chakravarti Samratatva, and these are the signs on body. Then the science of magic. Of course, the magical activities help these people to attract people. Then pertaining to the illusion, then the duties of the ashramas and omens. Yes, in that time, the ashrama system was very important. It shows that the entire Arthashastra the main religion was Hindu religion, and hence Kautilya was constantly saying that the ashrama vyavastha, the rules of the ashramas, people should, I mean, the spy should be aware of it. It is not only for spy, but even for king, that he should be aware of the rules and regulations of the ashramas. Then the wheel with the spaces and so on. The wheel, that is Antar Chakra, that is in architecture, the 64 sides are mentioned, and accordingly the spy should narrate the entire Vastu Shastra or Vastu Dosha. So these are the training, these are the subjects the spy must be expert, and they are called as Sansarga Vidya. Why Samsarga Vidya? Because it is easy to mingle in the society with these type of qualifications. And Samsarga Vidya, of course, it includes, because I'm not going to cover all the sutras, so I would like to mention it here only, that Samsarga Vidya includes music, dance, singing, and all that. And we all know that the Sarfarosh movie of Amir Khan, where the singer from Pakistan who got respect in this society, in our country, and actually he was the spy of Pakistan, he was working for Pakistan. So these are the stories we can correlate with these sutras. Then so this is the Satri. Then he has given the explanation of the Tikshna. Ye janapade shuraha tyaktamanaha hastinam vyalam va dravya hetuho pratiyodhayeyu tetikshaha. Those in the land who are brave have given up all the personal safety and would fight for the sake of money. So they are ready to take any challenge for the sake of money, and they are called as Tikshna. And how cruel they are, how strong they are, that they can take fight with wild animals. And Hasti, this is not the tamed elephant, but the wild elephant. And so they are called as Tikshna, they are called as bravos. Ye bandhushu nisneha krura lasahashchate rasadaha. Rasam dadati. Rasa is any fluid, or rasa is medicine. And in Mudra Rakshas, we all know the story, the Sanskrit drama Mudra Rakshas, a famous drama where Abhayadatta has played the role of the Rasada. So the author of Mudra Rakshas is quite aware of all the concept of spy system mentioned in Arthashastra, and he has utilized the entire system for his drama. So Abhayadatta was the Rasada who was appointed by Rakshasa to kill Chandragupta. And for that, he was Ayurveda, he was a physician, Ayurvedajna, but when he poured the medicine, of course, it was full of poison in the glass, but fortunately, alert Chanakya was present over there, and he asked Abhayadatta to drink that entire medicine, and Abhayadatta died over there because he was not having any other option. If he would not have drunk that, then also his death was certainly there, and instead of getting death from enemy, he preferred to drink that poison, and he died over there. So he is the Rasada. Then another important spy is the female spy. So when we say honey trapping, and ladies are attracting high profile people to get information, especially they target the army people, they target the scientists, and from that we all know the stories of Mossad. Recently, so many stories are coming up. But the concept was used by Kautilya, and throughout his book, if you will see, the army of Bhikshuki, or the female spies, is there mentioned by him. In Vedic tradition also, we have the references, especially of Sarma. Of course, Sarma is not a spy. I consider her as a Rajaduta or a diplomat and not the spy. But the appointment of female as a spy was mentioned by Kautilya, and he has made use of these ladies, and it shows that from that time till today, even the ladies are working hard to gather information. Information by deception is their main job. And for that, they attract people. Now, in what disguise they should work? So literally in any field, they should go and work. So whatever form they can take and they enter in the required area or the palace or the minister's house, but they should take any form which is necessary to gather information for that a list of this: umbrella, the one who bears umbrella; water vessel, the one who offers shoes or chappals to the king or the ministers; one who offers seat to the king; then carriage of and riding animals. So in every disguise, now the other rule is mentioned over here, that these spies, because they are roving spies, it is necessary for them to gather information and to hand over it to the samstha. And I was so lucky that I got chance to deliver lectures for Intelligence Department of Mumbai Police on the spy system, history of spy system. And there they told that, madam, you are in the samstha delivering lecture and we are getting information from outside. So it shows that even today, the spy system were exactly what it is mentioned in Arthashastra. Then the Saujna Lipi, that is the cryptic language, is mentioned by Kautilya. So cryptic language, even now, nobody will directly tell you that, oh, go there and here is the person which we are searching for. No, they have some code words. They have some, as I have mentioned, that for James Bond, 007 is the code name. So similarly, code language they use. Here I have taken the example, one from Mudra Rakshas, and there the shloka mentioned by one of the spy appointed by Rakshasa when he was prohibited by the Dwarapala. Then he narrates the shloka saying that, having drunk the juice from flowers for oneself. So like a brahmara, one who collects the juice from different flowers, and he gathered the entire honey with himself, but from that honey, the other people get benefited. So in short, I have collected information from different places which are of use to the Rakshasa, the minister of Dhanananda. By hearing this shloka, Rakshasa allows him to enter inside. So in this way, they use the cryptic language. One more example. Now people raise objection for this shloka, whether it is composed by Ramdas Swami or not. But this shloka is composed by Ramdas Swami. That is what people believe. Of course, objection, as I have mentioned earlier, objection is there. But here is the shloka. Now here is the poem, which says that विवेके करावे कार्य साधन जाणार नरतनु हे जाणून पुढील भविष्यार्थी मन राहतोची नाहीये. चालो नाही असन मार्गी सत्यता बाणल्या अंगी रघुवीर कृपा ते प्रसंगी दास महात्म्य वाढवी. So the Rajaniनाथ Dinakara, if you will take the first alphabet from each line, then the message is विजापूरचा सरदार निघाला आहे. Now actually when Afzal Khan started from Vijapura, nothing is hidden in it. It was known to everyone when at that very moment when he picked up the betel leaf in the palace, when Adil Shah asked or put forth the condition of capturing Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj or killing him. And the only person who took the challenge was Afzal Khan. So nothing was hidden over here. But I consider that what is the hidden message for Shivaji Maharaj? That ekanti viveka karoni ishta yojana karani. Ekanti viveka karoni. So meet him in isolation, not openly. And ishta yojana karavi. Ishta, that which is beneficial. And what is beneficial, you know it better. So do whatever is very important and beneficial to the entire society, and that is of course killing the enemy, not giving the Abhayadana, because Kautilya is against of this. he is not ready to give abhaya to anyone. And Shivaji Maharaj did the same thing in his entire reign. Here is another example of cryptic language, the bomb blast in Hyderabad. But this is from the side of enemy. The terrorists use this code word, Mission Deshmukh, and the meaning of that Deshmukh is Dilsukh Nagar, where the bomb blast is going to take place, to mention that this code word is used by the terrorist. Then, Nacha Anyonya Samsthate va Vidyuh. They should not aware of each other. So wherever they go, they should not be aware. Otherwise, it is possible that the secret theme may get disclosed. Then other rules include Trayanam Ekavakya Sampratyaya. At least 3 spies should gather the same information. They should bring the same information, and if someone is giving constantly the wrong information, Kautilya is very stern about punishing them. He has mentioned that Tesham Abhiksha Vinipate Tushni Dandam Pratishedava. So if someone is making mistake constantly, in his case, Kautilya is saying that Tushni Danda, either stop him from the work or punish him, and Tushni Danda is generally the death sentence for Kautilya. Apart from that, the Ubhaya Vetana. This is very important sutra. Ubhaya Vetana is actually the one who is working for both the countries. We call them as double agent. Actually, someone is appointed from one country to in another country, and he behave over there as if he is against from the country from where he had come, and now he is working for the new country. In this list, we know so many spies in this list. The Ubhaya Vetana, Mohanlal Bhaskar, the agent of Raw, then Ravindra Kaushik. These are the very famous spies who work for our nation, but they went to Pakistan and they worked over there. They betrayed them and gathered information. Of course, in case of Ravindra Kaushik, I must mention that unfortunately, when he was caught by our enemy country, we were unable to bring him back. Sometimes it happens that it is really difficult to support them openly, and in that condition, unfortunately, Ravindra Kaushik died in the jail of Pakistan. We were unable to do anything, but he, till the last breath, he worked for the nation. There are some examples where our own spies betrayed our own country, and in that Ravindra Singh and Madhuri Gupta. So I have mentioned that even the ladies, they were served as spy, but unfortunately Madhuri Gupta, for other country, for our enemy country, she served. So these are the examples, but I would like to mention 2 more examples, and one is Kim Philby. He was the MI6, that is British spy agency, and he was there for 30 years on higher position. But the country, British were unable to understand that, and then he escaped from there because he was basically the spy of Russia, and he took shelter in Russia when he realized that now I am in doubt by my own side. So he took shelter in Russia and he stayed there till his death. Another example is Eli Cohen. Of course, he is not the spy who betrayed his own country, but he was a double agent, and his story is amazing. But it shows that wherever they go, their life is at risk, but still they work for their own country. By doing so, it is necessary for them to gather information very quickly and hand over it to the respective agent, to the respective people at very right time, because if they make delay, and the information will not reach at right time, the entire system will collapse, and hence the Kautilya is using the word Shigra Chara Parampara. So I compare this word with the word paparazzi. They are behind gathering information as early as possible, and Kautilya is saying the same thing. He has also mentioned that he has used the word Vapa for the appointment of spies. That and then I started thinking why the word Vapa is used, because
Dr. Bapat,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but can we wind up in a couple
Okay,
of minutes?
fine, no
Yeah,
problem.
sorry. Yeah.
So it shows that the relevance of spy system mentioned in Kautilya Arthashastra is in practice even today, and this shows the greatness of the text and the author. Thank you very much.
Yeah, many apologies, Dr. Bapat. I had to cut you short there. Dr. Wakankar, your comments?
Yes, it was a wonderful lecture. A little bit
Yes, sir.
lengthy according to our time limit, but very informative. She has given some names, etc., modern names. I think she has forgotten the name of Ajit Doval.
No, sir, I have not, but no, I have not mentioned. Yes.
That's okay.
Of course.
See,
Of course.
you had referred to so many things.
Yeah.
You said something about Ram Bhosle. You know the most important contribution of Ram Bhosle is?
Of course, sir. Raw, yes. The
No, not raw.
cowboys, the spies.
He was the Sri Vidya Upasako. That was his strength. Sri Vidya Upasako.
Okay. Huh.
That
Yes.
aspect is not known by so many persons. And because of
Sir.
that, he had the good knowledge of dancing also. I have met him so many times.
Sir.
So he was a gentleman par excellence and a genius. Genius.
Sir.
This story, I'll tell you the story later on.
Please,
Very
sir.
interesting. Then you said about the Samsarga Vidya. Rasa is not only Rasa is the para. आपण म्हणतो para तो 20 आहे ती गेलं की जातं. So rasa should be interpreted in the sense of para.
Okay, sir. I'll do that.
And I think you have forgotten the very important word known as Shanmukha Kalpa. Shanmukha Kalpa is a word on robbery.
Okay, sir.
Stealing. But it is not studied anywhere. Its only manuscript was available in Asiatic Society, Calcutta. If you are lucky enough, you will be able to see it today. For intensives of mine, I could not see it.
I have not seen that, sir. Yes, sir.
You have to see it.
Great,
see,
sir. Thank you.
Sanskrit texts which are not known to us.
Sir, I'll do that, sir.
Kautilya is okay, but what kind of application of Kautilya is done throughout these years? We have not been able to pinpoint it specifically. We have done a good job trying to collect information. That was a wonderful work. And you said that the person should not eat much. So I remember the famous dictum of Pino Devadatto Divana Bhute.
Sir, yes, sir.
And recently there was a person who was an Uposana and he was eating samosa. So these are general things, but I don't want to enter into political arena. It's a different thing. But these are things done throughout the year, and we must give credit to Kautilya, his far sight as well as foresight, that he could see that these same principles will be followed all over the world.
Sir.
He was not that way interested in getting fame and name, etc. But his foresight was more important, and his distinct study and deep study of a particular topic, which you have been able to nicely describe to us. I would have loved to listen to the entire paper, but the time does not allow us. So sorry. Now anybody can ask any question. See, Dr. Bapat has been doing work on Kautilya Arthashastra. So she can ask anything, answer anything. That is, I feel so. All right. Now the paper is open for discussion.
So I think we can take a couple of questions. I'd request the host to please select the couple of questions from.
Vrushali ma'am, I think because of time constraint, we'll do away with the questions.
Okay,
and
okay,
then
fair enough.
go to the next paper.
Yes,
And
yes,
then,
yes. Okay.
if time permits, we will have a Q&A session.
Towards the end. Yes, yes. All right, all right. Okay, okay. Thank you, Dr. Bapat, for
So
this.
thank you very
And
much for giving me this opportunity once again. Thank you, Sanskrit department, everybody.
okay, thank you.
Next time, Dr. Bapat, next time remember, brevity is the soul. Be as brief as possible in lectures.
Sir,
Get a point?
sir.
Limit your time limit. Thank you.
Okay, I shall introduce our next guest. It takes me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Shakuntala Gowde. Dr. Gowde is assistant professor and erstwhile head of Sanskrit department, University of Mumbai. She has her PhD in eschatology in Vedic literature, compared with the Western philosophy. A versatile personality, she has topped Jyotish Shastra exams as well, amongst her many other certifications. She has authored many books, including narrative analysis of the Bhagavad Puran, etc. She has been a visiting fellow at Kelaniya University at Sri Lanka and has authored and presented many papers. I request Dr. Gowde to please address our audience.
Namo Namaha. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Namo Namaha to all. Respected Chairperson, Professor Siddhartha Vakankar, dignitaries, and all the participants. So the topic for today's presentation, which I have chosen, is research methodology in ancient India. So when we are deliberating on IKS, that is ancient Indian knowledge systems, we often forget one area, that is research methodology. Because whenever we try to learn research methodology, or we are teaching research methodology to students, often the focus is on modern research methods. But now I'm attempting that can we trace back this research methodology in ancient times, how it was developed and how it was, we can say, embedded in our Shastras. When we talk about research methodology, how we can trace it back. So when we talk about ancient India, we have a rich tradition of different Shastras. We have Shastras connected to empirical sciences. We have Bhautika Shastra, Ganita Shastra, Rasayana Shastra, etc. We have social sciences, it may be arts or Artha Shastra, just now we have learned. In literature, we can see Vyakarana Shastra is there, then aesthetics, that is Saundarya Shastra is there. So we have great tradition of Shastra literature, Shastra Parampara, we can say. So we definitely we can understand that if there was a rich tradition of Shastra, there then must be a method to write those Shastra. Some methodology was developed to compose these Shastras. So there were researches going on in ancient India pertaining to different fields. And definitely, therefore, there was a methodology to do that. So now I'm focusing particularly on textual method with certain examples and how this research methodology was developed, that we can see. So when we talk about research, what is research? We are aware about various definitions of research, that re-examining or re-investigating or analyzing, systematic investigations, etc. Samyak Shodhanam, Parikshanam, or Ajnatasya Prakashanam, Avishkaranam, etc., etc. But one thing is very common, that it is not just examination or investigation, but it is systematic investigation. It is careful investigation. And that gives us a sense that we have to follow some methodology. If methodology is not followed, then any search or any investigation cannot be called as a research, cannot be called as a Sankshodhanam. So this kind of research methodology is followed in today's era. similarly, it was followed in ancient India as well. And that we have to understand. Now, how we can understand that? When we follow the research methodology, there are some common steps. So it may be any field, it may be science or any field. These are some common steps because this is scientific research methodology. So first we observe, then there is a curiosity, and there is a research problem. So formation of research problem is very necessary, and that comes with observation and curiosity. So even in our textual method or textual research, it happens that first we read the treatises. First, we read our text, Sanskrit text, and we come across certain things about which we are curious, and then we form the research problem. For example, if we come across the word yoga in Vedic text, and then it is reflected in Shastra Grantha of yoga, like Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, etc. So there may be, one may be curious that whether this word yoga is used with same connotation or not. And accordingly, one can form a research problem. So after that, the step is formation of hypothesis, which is nothing but, the conclusion which is predicted based on proper observation. It is not superficial observation. Then one needs to formulate the design of the research, then data collection, the analysis, and then the conclusion. So when these steps are taken into consideration, can we see these steps in ancient Indian text or ancient Shastras also? So definitely the answer is yes. So we can see certain examples of that. Our Shastras are specimen, or we can say in that we can see that research methodology is reflected, because it may be any Shastra, Darshana Shastra, Vyakarana Shastra or Sahitya Shastra. It is composed with proper discipline, that is proper methodology. So we can see that we had researchers, we had ancient researchers. They are often known as commentators or, the writers of particular Shastras as such. For example, Sayanacharya has written commentaries on Vedic literature. Now, of course, they had come across a research problem that what may be the meaning of the Vedas, because so far the Vedas were not explored that much, and so he felt the need to comment upon the Vedas to explore the meaning. So that was his research problem. Similarly, for Shankaracharya, Brahma Sutranam Artha Nishchitihi. What was the meaning of Brahma Sutras? Because by the time the meaning of Brahma Sutras was not understood properly. So it was a necessity to ascertain the meaning of Brahma Sutras. Now, once the meaning was ascertained by Shankaracharya, then why again Ramanujacharya wrote the commentary on Brahma Sutra? Because Shankaracharya had written the commentary on Brahma Sutras with specific outlook. That was the approach of Nirguna Brahman. And Ramanujacharya wanted to prove the authenticity of Saguna Brahman. He wanted to prove that Saguna Brahman is the ultimate reality. So that was his research problem. Similarly, Yaskacharya wanted to prove that Vedic mantras or Vedic words are not meaningless, because there was a strong school of thought believing that Nirarthaka vai mantraha. And so he etymologized all the words and he gave the whole science of etymology, that is Nirukta. Similarly, for Kautilya, Rajaniti Vyavasthapanam, that he gave the science of polity, because his predecessor definitely had written certain things, but they may be partial and not suitable to the time. And so Kautilya came with Arthashastra. Similarly, we can see for Panini, Patanjali and Abhinavagupta that they came across a certain research problem, and then they solved it with particular research perspective. So we can see that the research problem which is there in the beginning and adoption of particular research perspective, that is very common among these Shastrakaras, that they have adopted a drushti, Samshodhana drushti, and then solved that particular research problem. So we can take those specimens from our ancient researchers. Now, how we can see the Sankshodhana Shastra in our ancient text that which is reflected. So we can find certain research tools as reflected in our ancient Shastras. For example, Nyaya. Now, Nyaya is called as fundamental darshan because one should learn Nyaya in order to understand all darshanas, it is said as. It is called as Pradeepa, a lamp. Because Nyaya epistemology is very important in order to reach towards the right knowledge. Basically, the Nyaya darshan is about that. And so Nyaya epistemology is very, very important in order to do any kind of research. We will take some examples of that. Then Mimamsa is very important because Mimamsa is considered as a science of hermeneutics. And Mimamsa was a science to interpret Vedic mantras. So that interpretation becomes necessary while doing any research. Similarly, we can see Nirukta. Etymology is very important tool in research. Many a times we are stuck about the meanings of the word, and that meanings when etymologized can give us particular direction. So Nirukta is very important tool of research. Then Ayurveda, we have Sambhasha, that is a science of debate, Vada Paddhati, and that Vada which actually leads towards the right knowledge. So all these tools actually lead us towards the right knowledge, and the very purpose of research is to go towards the right knowledge without any preconceived notion, partiality, or any biases. So it is done with open-minded approach, and all these sciences actually help us to do that. Similarly, Tantra Yukti is very important aspect. Tantra Yukti is basically the way of scientific writing because research is not just exploring a thing by oneself, by researcher, but it is also presenting it through a particular means like paper, dissertation, thesis, and for that Tantra Yukti is definitely very helpful, and it was adopted by our Shastrakaras to compose Shastra Granthas. So when we take the example of Nyaya, as I said, Nyaya was considered as a fundamental to all darshanas. So it was considered as if, the mandatory to learn Nyaya, to learn any kind of Shastra. So if we take the example of Nyaya Pramana Shastra, Nyaya has adopted the 4 pramanas, Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda, and Upamana. So when we come to Pratyaksha, it is defined as Indriyartha Sannikarsha Janyam Jnanam Pratyaksham, that the knowledge which is, okay, so Pratyaksha is a knowledge which is gathered to sense organs. And so when we come to the research, we have to go through the primary data, secondary data. We can't rely on a data which is gathered by others. So we have to go through the primary text. If I want to prove something, for example, about Uttarakanda of Valmiki Ramayana, that whether it is interpolated or not, I have to read Uttarakanda by myself. Otherwise, I will not be in a position to pass any remark, any conclusion about the Uttarakanda. So that Pratyaksha is very necessary. After that comes Anumana. Based on those sources, based on that gathered data, I think an interruption is there. Shall I continue?
Yes, please. I'm not sure what sort of interruption. I'll look into it. Please continue.
So based on Pratyaksha, we have to proceed with Anumana. So most of the time what happens is researchers collect the data and that data is compiled and think that, okay, my research is done, but it is not so. We are only till Pratyaksha. We have to use further Anumana as well. Based on that gathered data, we have to infer something. Based on known facts, we have to go towards the unknown, which we have to prove. So that interpretation of the collected data is basically based on Anumana. That analysis comes in Anumana. Anumana is defined as paschat. Anu nama paschat niyate tat. So it is not possible without pratyaksha. Similarly, if we have not gathered the data, data collection is not done, we can't go towards the data analysis and data interpretation. Similarly, shabda, that is apta vakyam shabda, it is defined as. So that it is a belief on some apta, that is authoritative person. Similarly, in research, we consider some authentic work as pramana and proceed. For example, if we are working on Dharma Shastra, we may rely on the sources of P.V. Kane and we may work further. Similarly, Upamana, which is based on comparison, the example is given as Gauriva Gavayaha. So we, while interpreting the data, many a times we have to compare the data and then deduce the conclusion, because in isolation, many a times we can't deduce the conclusion. For example, while analyzing the sources from mythology, S.A. Dange and Dr. S.A. Dange and Dr. S.S. Sindhu Dange often compare the Indian narratives with the narratives or myths across the world, and then they deduce certain conclusion, then they decode certain allegories or symbols. So this Pramana Shastra definitely paves the way for research methodology, we can say. As I said, Anumana is very important step, because Anumana has two types, Swarthanumana and Pararthanumana. In Swarthanumana, we have, there is a journey of a researcher. That researcher first has to understand what is getting proved, and definitely it is based on three aspects, that is Pratijna, Hetu and Udarana. So Hetu is very important. Without Hetu, Anumana doesn't get proved. Parvato Vanniman Dhuma Vatvat. So without references, without evidences, it is not possible to prove anything. So researcher has gathered evidences or references and has proved something. But that is only limited to the researcher. When it comes to presentation, when it comes to writing research papers, when it comes to writing dissertation or thesis, Pararthanumana is very important, because you are explaining your research to others. So we have to adopt additional steps, that is Upanaya and Nigamana also, that you have to justify your research with proper argumentation. And for that, you have to present sometimes the views of predecessors, prove how they are correct or incorrect, and then comes to the Nigamana. So, you have to give some illustrations, examples. You have to take the entire overview of the predecessor's research. So, Pararthanumana helps us to come with research writing. And unless and until there is a proper research writing, research will not get accepted. So our ancient sciences teach us how to come with this. Similarly, the Nyaya Shastra has come with excellent Vada Paddhati, that is a tradition of debate. And debate is not just as it is misunderstood, it is not the science of just argumentation, but it is a science which leads us to the right knowledge. Pramana Tarka Sadhana Upalambha. Siddhanta Viruddha Panchavayava Upapannaha. So it actually is equipped with Panchavayava. And then only we can lead towards a proper, the right knowledge, because the whole exercise of research is to reach towards the right knowledge. So how we can avoid the bad means of argumentation, that sometimes the research is done with bias and partiality. So how that can be avoided? How the opinions of predecessors can be accepted without any partiality or biases, like Jalpa and Vitanda. So sometimes in Vitanda, the opponent's view or the self view is not presented properly. So there are two ways that only opponent's views are refuted, and one's own view is not properly justified, or it can be other way around. So both are very much partial and they are not considered as a right means in Vada. So if we adopt all these means of Vada, definitely they help in writing a good research paper or good dissertation or thesis, we can say. Then Mimamsa also helps us in developing the research methodology. There are some research Mimamsa principles which are helpful. For example, Sarthakya. But every word or sentence has its meaning and purpose, or Laghava. When one rule is applicable, another should not be assumed. Arthaikatva, word or sentence showing at one and the same place. A double meaning should not be attached, etc. So I'll give one example that often in writing of research paper and thesis, we should use the language which is scientific. We can't use the poetic or allegorical language there as we use in poetry. So the meaning which is understood by our research writing should be very clear and crystal. It should be mainly based on Vachartha and not Vyangyartha. So, and all these principle of Mimamsa were used by our Shastrakaras. Often, I have given here one example of Daya Bhaga Prakarana, where it is the principle that Samausha Harini Mata, that the mother becomes takes the portion of that Daya Bhaga. But here, how the word mother will be understood? Only a natural parent, that because the word mother is also used in figurative sense. But here, all those figurative senses are to be avoided. So similarly, in research writing, we have to use the word with only by Vachartha and not by Vyangyartha or Lakshartha, etc. Because it is a scientific writing. Then if we come to Nirukta, as I have said earlier, Nirukta is excellent tool which is given by Yaskacharya, which can be used in research. That how to etymologize the word. First, he says that you can look at the Vyakarana Samskara. If not, then you can always look at the meaning. But don't say that meaning, that word cannot be etymologized or word doesn't have meaning. So I have the example while writing the paper on Putana episode of Bhagavata Purana, and of course it is there in my book also, the word Putana, which was actually misleading because Putana was known as Rakshasi, that is Demoness. And what was the meaning of Putana? Often it was etymologized that Puta means who means to purify, and which is not purified, impure, etc. But somehow the meaning was not congruent. So when I came across the many dictionary meanings, I came across one root, that is pui, means which is putrid, that is foul smell. And when I looked into the Ayurvedic treatises, the Putana was a disease which was described, which was related with the foul smell. So that is how I could decode that symbology of Putana. So even Yaspa has given such interpretation, like O Nama Vrutraha. He explains the meaning of Vrutra with the historical school that it may be Asura, demon, which was killed by Indra. But similarly, he says that Megha iti nairuktaha, that because he etymologizes the word by Vru Achadane, which covers. So Megha is that which covers the water principle, and that is how he comes with the allegorical meaning actually. So it is definitely a tool to proceed with the research, and he himself has implemented in his own treatise, we can say. Then, as I have given example of Ayurvedic treatises, means Nyaya methodology of Vada. Similarly, we find Sambhasha in Ayurvedic treatise, and that is Tadvidya Sambhasha. And there are two discussions which are categorized, Sandhaya Sambhasha and Vigruhya Sambhasha. That is friendly discussion and hostile discussion, or Jnanavati Parishad and Moda Parishad. So here are told the ways which should be avoided in right way of debating. So definitely it is useful. I am not elaborating on this because we have already seen the Nyaya, and there are many similarities in Nyaya, Vada Paddhati and Ayurvedic Sambhasha. So similarly, we have Tantra Yuktis, which are tools of research. So even Charaka has mentioned, Sushruta has mentioned Tantra Yuktis. Similarly, Kautilya Arthashastra has mentioned this. So all these Tantra Yuktis are very much useful in writing any research material. So, for example, adhikaranam, and it is said yam artham adhikrutya uchyate. It is the very name actually. It is the very topic of the research, we can say, because many a times student or researcher, prospective researcher have some topic in the mind, but they don't have proper title. And until and unless they decide a particular title, they can't proceed in the research. Because coming with the topic is one thing, but coming with the precise title will lead you towards the right research. Then vidhanam, shastrasya prakarananupurvi vidhanam. Should have proper prakaranas. Once the title is decided, we should be aware of the research design. What will be the chapters? They should be logical. They should lead to each other. Atidesha, uktena sadhanam atidesha. That we can apply some principle which is already proved to other things. And atidesha is very important tool which is used in all shastric treatises. So we can use it in our research also to avoid repetition. We can't repeat certain things at every time. We can use atidesha. Purva Paksha, Uttara Paksha are very important, which are used in our Shastras. That we have to refute views of certain predecessor, which is already proved because it is a research. And we have to propound our own views with proper justification. Sometimes we also accept predecessor's view, that is anumatam. So these are certain examples. So if we adopt this Tantra Yukti, definitely it will help in research writing. Now we can take certain examples from our ancient researchers. For example, and how they had adopted this research methodology properly. So if we take the example of Yaskacharya, what was his method? So while writing the treatise or Nirukta, what he does is, like we have seen in Tantra Yukti, Purva Paksha, Uttara Paksha and Anumatam, he has been quoting his predecessors, but sometimes he agrees, sometimes disagrees, and put forth his own views and justifies it with sound arguments. So many predecessors he has quoted in his treatise like Shakatayana, Shakapuni, Gargya, Audumbarayana. Many, for example, Indriya Nityam Vachanam Audumbarayana, Chad Bhava Vikaraha Bhavanti iti Varshayani, Sarvani Namani Akhyata iti Shakatayana. Similarly, he says, Na Sarvani iti Gargya. This he has followed this we can say method that following of this Purva Paksha, Uttara Paksha and Anumatam, we can say. Okay. Then his Vishleshana Paddhati is very interesting. Actually, Nirukta is considered as a text of linguistic Bhasha Shastra, or his methodology is of linguistics and grammar. But he has adopted two different viewpoints also. He sometimes gives the explanation which is ritualistic, sometimes it is historical, scientific, philosophical as well. One example I have given, Atha Api, Asya eko Rakshmi Chandramasam Pratidipyate. So here he says that the moon which gets the light, it is from the ray of the sun. So here he adopts to the scientific understanding. Or similarly, apam cha jyotishascha mishri bhava karamano varsha karma jayate. That how the rain is getting produced. It is with the combination of water and the light, water and fire. He quotes the relevant passage also. Agnirva ito vrishtim samirayati, marutah srushtam vrishtim nayanti, asau adityo agnim rashmibihi paryavartate, athavarshati, etc. So he has adopted to the scientific approach as well. Alankaravid also he is, because many nipatas he has given, and in those nipatas he has given the nipatas which are in the sense of alankara, like nu, na, chit, etc. So he has that understanding of poetry as well, we can say. Then while analyzing the Devata Swarupa, he has analyzed the nature of the deities. At that time also his multifarious or multidimensional approach is visible, because researcher has to have that open-minded approach, should not have that biased approach. So while analyzing the deity Ashvina, what he says, Ataha द्युस्थानः देवता, that they are द्युस्थानीय देवता. तासाम अश्विनौ प्रथमागामिनौ भवतः अश्विनौ यत् Ashnuate sarvam. So he etymologizes the word from the root asha, means to pervade. Now, pervade means they are the deities, they pervade. Rasaina anya jyotisha anya. So he again quote different opinions. Pervade by what? Rasa or jyotisha means light or some kind of liquid. Then Ashvaihi Ashvina iti Auranavabha. He quotes the opinion of Auranavabha that why they are called as Ashvina, because Ashvaihi, that they are equipped with Ashvas, that is horses. Then he has again quoted number of opinions. Dyava Prithivya viti eke, Ahavratra viti eke, Surya Chandra Masa viti eke, that they may be heaven and earth, they may be day and night, they may be sun and moon. Even he quotes the historians' views, Aitihasika view, that they may be some kings. Then he quotes his own opinion. Tayoho kalaha urdhvam ardharatrat prakashi bhavasya anuvishtamvam. That it is the time after the midnight where we can see the tamas, that is darkness, as well as light. So Ashvina is nothing but the combination of the light and the darkness. So his opinion is, stated after considering all the opinions which were prevalent in his own times, and he is open to multifarious approaches. That is very important. Then if we come to the Sayanacharya, he has also, actually the Sayanacharya Shodha Paddhati, if we understand, normally it is again misconceived that he was only ritualistic, that he has followed the Yajnika Paddhati. But it is not so. He has given all kinds of explanation wherever possible. Of course, he was predominant with ritualistic exploration. So he will explain the words, grammar one by one. He gives ritualistic explanation of Vedic mantras. He gives etymological explanation by quoting Yaskacharya's Nirukta. He gives philosophical explanation wherever possible. He also states all the akhyanas relevant to those Vedic characters and mantras or suktas. For example, this is the Vandrucha from the Vishnu Sukta, where he is saying that, where it is said that Vishnu created the worlds. Parthivani vimamai rajansi yo askabhayad uttaram sadasti. Now here the word rajansi, rajas means loka. Now how he is commenting upon that? First he says, Shityadi lokatraya abhimanini agni vaivaditya rupani rajansi. So the realms which are predominant or presided by fire, wind, and the sun, he says. So these are some kind of realms, he says. Then he says, Adha Saptaloka and Uttara Bhavinam Sadastham. Means Punya Kurtam Sahanivasa Yogyam Bhuradi Loka Saptakam. So he interprets that as Saptaloka, which are lower and upper realms, we can say. Then again he interprets that Uparjita Karma Bhogarthatvat Itara Lokanam Tat Karanatvam. Here he comes with philosophical explanation that these realms are for the sake of exhausting one's own karmas. So here the meaning of Uttara, he explains it as Utkrushtataram Loka, that is the best lokas. And why they are best? Apunaravrittehe tasya Utkrishtatvam. That there is no, once a person goes to that, of those upper regions, that is the best lokas, there is no Punaragamanam, there is no coming back. And it is possible for Upasakanam Sahasthanam Satyalokam. It is considered as Satyasthana. So Sayana has given philosophical explanation also in his commentary. So again, the multidimensional approach of Sayanacharya can be seen while he is interpreting the Vedic mantras. Now we can see the Shankaracharya's method while writing the commentary on Brahma Sutra. So in Adhyasa Bhashya, which is the very Prastavana, which is the very beginning of the Shankara Bhashya, he wants to prove that all Pramana Prameya Vyavahara is Mithya. That all the Pramana Prameya Vyavahara, because generally the Pramana Vyavahara means Pramana is called as valid means of knowledge. But he says that all Pramana Prameya Vyavahara is also Mithya, which is illusory. And for that, how he proves? He says that now I have divided it in the scientific terminology which is given by Nyaya Vaisheshikas. He says that he wants to prove that Manusha Vyavaharaha Ajnana Mulaka, that human behavior, or we can say Pramana Prameya Vyavaharaha, means our method of cognition, whatever we cognize, we learn, that entire process is actually full of ignorance. That's what he wants to prove. Now, it is very surprising that how we can say that all our cognition process is full of ignorance. So he takes resort of Hetu. He says that, why? Because Pashwadinam Vyavaharaha Ajnanamulakaha. Because the behavior of animals is full of ignorance, and that is very popular. And what he proves that behavior of animals is equal to the behavior of humans. How it is? So he has given that example, that if we show the green grass to the animals, they will come to you. If we show the stick to the animal, they go away. Similarly, for the human, if one is with garland and very pleasing body language, then definitely one will come forward. Maybe there is a welcome, thinking that. But if you see that there are people with swords, sticks, and with arrogant gestures, then you will run away. So he says that there is equivalence in the behavior of animals and humans. So if it is very much popular that animals' behavior is full of ignorance, then automatically it gets proved that even Manusha Vyavaharaha, human Vyavahara, Laukika Vyavahara, is also full of ignorance. Another example of Shankaracharya is in Anandamayadhikaranam, we can say. While proving Anandam Brahma, in Anandamayadhikaranam, we can say that it is based on Panchakosha Siddhanta of Taittiriya Upanishad. And in that, it is proved that Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya cannot be Brahman. By saying that, here the suffix mayat is in the sense of vikara. The predecessors of Shankaracharya have said that mayat is in the sense of vikara. Vikara means modification. All these koshas are subject to modification, so they cannot be Brahman. But Anandamaya can be Brahman, because here the word mayat is in the sense of prachurya. But Shankaracharya refutes that by citing Ardhajaratiya Nyaya. He says that mayat was in the sense of vikara till Vijnanamaya kosha, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya. And all of a sudden, in Anandamaya, how it is in the sense of prachurya. So here he adopts the Mimamsa principle, Arthaikatva. If mayat has the sense of vikara, then it should be vikara in case of Anandamaya also. And again, there is another argument also shown by Shankaracharya, that even if the meaning prachurya is taken, it shows that prachurya means there can be slightest of sorrow in Brahman, which is not possible. So Shankaracharya refutes the views of predecessors by Ardhajaratiya Nyaya, means he adopts the principle of Arthaikatva, which is there in Mimamsa, by Ardhajaratiya Nyaya, saying that a lady cannot be half young and half old, which is not possible. So he proves that with this Nyaya, Ardhajaratiya Nyaya, and says that Anandamaya cannot be Brahman, but Anandam Brahmeti Vejana. This is the Shruti statement. So women must believe that Anandam Brahma. So one more example, but I think depending on the time, I will quickly go through it. So this is the example of Vakya Shesha, which is again another Mimamsa principle. There is Brahma Sutra Janmadhyasya Yataha, which is very much brief. Janmadi Asya Yataha. So here what is Asya is not known. So here Shankaracharya says Jagataha, but what is that Jagat? Nama Rupabhyam Vyakrutasya Aneka Kartru Bhoktru Sanyuktasya Pratiniyata Desha Kala Nimitta Kala Falashrayasya Manasa Api Achintya Rachana Rupasya. That is Jagat. So this world is full of Nama Rupas, full of names and forms, which are associated with different kartru bhoktru, that is different doers and enjoyers, and it is again specific with the time and space, and working of the world, even we can't, think of it, is beyond our thinking. That much is the expanse of that world. That is understood by the pronoun asya. Then what is the meaning of yatah? Yatah Panchami denotes that as a karana. So he says sarvajnat sarvashaktehe karanat bhavati iti Brahma. So Brahma is the karana. And even Janmadi is explained by him as Janma, Sthiti and Bhanga. That is Utpatti, Sthiti and Laya. So this sutra is very important to understand that Brahman is the cause of the world. And this is explained, this is propounded by Shankaracharya with the tool Vakyashesha, which is again Mimamsa principle. Then even Ramanujacharya's methodology we can see. While proving that Purva Mimamsa and Uttara, so he wants to prove that is actually Pratijna, that Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa are not separate shastras. Actually, it is one shastra called as Mimamsa. So for that he gives hetu. Mimamsa Purva Bhaga Jnyatasya Karmanaha Alpasthira Falatvad Uparitana Bhaga Avaseyasya Brahma Jnanasya Ananda Akshaya Falatvacha. He says that how is it possible to understand Uttara Mimamsa without understanding Purva Mimamsa? Because one who has studied Karma Mimamsa will understand that fruit of karmans is temporary and not eternal. Then only it is worthwhile to understand Uttara Mimamsa, because the fruit of Uttara Mimamsa is Brahman, which is eternal. So it is logical that Purva Mimamsa is earlier and Uttara Mimamsa is later, but they are nothing but one science, one shastra. So he has given this hetu, following that Nyaya terminology, we can say. Then there's one more example where he has adopted the principle that there should be congruity between Upakrama and Upasamhara. So the very important Siddhanta of Ramanujacharya, that knowledge is not just knowledge, but it is upasana kind of knowledge. It is bhakti. So he proves that the word jnana or Vedana, which is used in Shrutis, in Upanishads, that is used in the sense of bhakti and upasana. For that he uses the tool that there should be congruity between Upakrama and Upasamhara. So he quotes the Shruti passages and he says that in the Upakrama, the word vida, means the dhatu vida, which is used, vida jnane, in the sense of knowledge. And in Upasamhara, the root upa plus asa, means upasana, is used. So it proves that here vida is used in the sense of upasana. So here Ramanujacharya has used actually many Mimamsa tools to prove his point. Similarly, in this interpretation of this mantra, which is considered as very complicated, avidyaya mrutyum tirtva vidyaya amrutam ashnute, which is from Ishavasya Upanishad. Here the word avidya, which is very complicated, because how one can cross the death with avidya? Because simple meaning of avidya, which we take as ignorance. But here Ramanuja understand the word avidya as vidyetara. That is the which excludes vidya and not opposite to vidya. So avidya is not ignorance for him. So he undertakes paryudasa here, and so by the term avidya he understands it is a karma and it is a varnashrama vihita karma. So if one performs varnashrama vihita karma, then naturally one crosses the death, because it definitely purifies the mind. And here death is nothing but prachina karmans, that is obstacles which cause obstacles in the path of moksha. So here he has adopted the Mimamsa principle. Then the last example of Kautilya, where he has Kautilya often adopts this Purva Paksha, Uttara Paksha and Anumatam. He often quotes his predecessors. One example I have given here, he has quoted Vata Vyadi, Danda Mitra Vyasana Yoho Mitra Vyasanam iti Vyata Vyadi. That calamity on friend is more severe than which falls on army. That was the opinion of Vata Vyadhi, but Kautilya has refuted that. So sometimes he refutes the views of predecessor, but sometimes he accepts. For example, Paksha Urasyam Pratigraha iti Aushanaso Vyuha Vibhaga. So here the viewpoint about Vyuha, that is accepted by Kautilya as it is. So this is the example of Anumatam. So this is how we can see that even our ancient Shastrakaras have adopted the scientific principles of research methodology. So even if we study our ancient treatises with that viewpoint, definitely we can adopt in our modern research as well. So that is my concluding point. So here I stop. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gowde. Sir, your comments?
First of all, I must congratulate Dr. Gowde for a wonderful paper going to the basics. We generally miss. So I would suggest to her, write a detailed paper on these lines. It is a very good guideline for the young students how to proceed for a research project. So Shakuntala, do expand this and bring out a small booklet, because nowadays what has happened, there are certain short terms which we use, IBID, OPCIT, etc., etc. Nowadays there are very few scholars who know the meaning of these words. So your paper gives a very good insight into the primary, that is, as I told you, this is what is understanding. The understanding of your topic is more important for this way. So do expand this paper. It's a wonderful topic is there. You are a seasoned researcher, and all the research and knowledge has been amalgamated in this very good presentation. I congratulate you, particularly because since you are in teaching field, it is necessary for your students also to know how to follow the research methodology. Nowadays, research methodology has changed a lot. What we were doing 50 years back is totally different than what you do. But still, this paper is a very good outline, and I again congratulate you for your successful attempt in, so to say, condensing everything in so small a paper. Do expand it for the benefit of the younger scholars. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Definitely, I will think in further direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you to all the participants of this session. I'd like to call upon Dr. Madhvi Narsare to thank Dr. Wakankar and the participants as well.
So, friends, this is my utmost pleasure to thank Professor Dr. Wakankar for chairing this session and for his valuable inputs and insights, and also for his encouragement given to all the speakers to develop their topics in their respective angles. I also extend my thanks to Professor Varsha Kelkar Mane for introducing us a very new and a different topic, which actually throws light on the ancient Indian sciences and the policy of the government of India in encouraging those sciences for the betterment of the society. Yeah, I thank Dr. Asavari Bapat for a very exhaustive and a very exemplar paper on the espionage in as discussed in the Kautilya Arthashastra. I express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Shakuntala Gowde. Now she is the associate professor in the Department of Sanskrit. For presenting a paper on a very vital topic, that is how is research to be undertaken with the help of the research methodology which is there in our ancient text. So we have been depending on the mythological aspects which have been highlighted by the West. But how can Indian knowledge systems also develop our own research methodology and also be exemplary for the researchers in the future, the generations pursuing research in Sanskrit and as well as its allied subjects. I thank Brushali Potnis Damle, who has been our faculty and the PhD student of the Department of Sanskrit, for convening this session in spite of her job and on her busy schedule. I thank the organizers of the Global Sanskrit Forum, Rajesh Mishra ji, for being present throughout the sessions, and also the audience who has been a source of encouragement for our presentators. So we'll take a quick break of 20 minutes and join back for the next session. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you.
अगं मला तुमचे धन्यवाद करायचेत ना.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I profusely thank all the organizers and their team, as well as the presenters and the persons in absentia, for giving a patient hearing to all the 3 papers and listening to a little bit of input which I could give based on my experience. And it was a pleasure to listen to these papers on a variety of subjects, and everybody has tried to give justice to her work. So that was more commendable. And so it was I think it's my duty as the chair here to thank all the persons for giving me this opportunity to be present with you and to listen to your enlightening lectures. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
मैम 5th टेक्निकल सेशन कितने बजे से स्टार्ट होगा?
1:30.